Broadcast only on the morning drive.
Make it a date with Martin Efanshuku, aka Meta.
And Christy F.E. Emenari, aka Classy.
From Monday to Friday from 7 a.m. to 9:30 a.m.
on the morning drive.
103.5 FM. Good morning and welcome to Ebona, the 103.5 FM. Today, the second day of November 2023. Today is Thursday and the time is a minute past the hour of 7. It's time for newspaper headlines on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. This morning we are going to take you through the news making the headlines on Nigerian newspapers. But before we do that, let's go for a short break. When we come back, we'll continue on the stories making the headlines. Please stay with us.
You know that you have the right to quality broadcasting. The National Broadcasting Commission says any person, group of persons, or organization aggrieved by the content of a broadcast or the conduct of a broadcast station may lodge a complaint to the station and all right to the Director General, National Broadcasting Commission, number 20, Ibrahim Taiwo Street, Asokoro, Abuja, or send a mail via info@nbc.gov.ng. Please ensure that the complaint includes name of the broadcast station, title of the program, date and time of broadcast, and essence of the complaint. Also, remember to include your name, address, telephone number, email, and append your signature. Note that the complaint must reach the NBC within 14 days of the queried broadcast. NBC, your right to quality broadcasting.
You're welcome back to newspaper headlines on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. This morning, we are going to take you through the news making the headlines on the Guardian newspaper, Leadership, Vanguard, Punch, Sun, Daily Post, The Nation, This Day, and if time permits, we're also going to take a look at the Nigerian Tribune. Remember that you can become part of the conversation by sending your reactions via SMS or WhatsApp messages on 080-9666-1035. You can as well join us on Facebook as we're live at Ebona, the 103.5 FM. Drop your comment on the comment section of the link of the live video. Equally, stream us online via mixlr.com/gistfm. I am Martin. Let's get started with the Guardian newspaper this morning. Court restrains Rivers Assembly, CJ, from impeaching governor. Group hails Tinubu's trust in Gbajabiamila, cautions mischief-makers. Rivers crisis, I can't be intimidated. Wike tells PDP governors. Concerns as NUPRC moves to guarantee crude supply to local refineries. The Palestinian ambassador to Nigeria, Abdullah Shawesh, yesterday called on the international community to mediate for a two-state solution to end the conflict between Israel and Palestine. The envoy made the call while addressing newsmen in Abuja on the humanitarian situation in Gaza. November 11, IPC trains journalists in Bayelsa, Kogi, Imo on fact-checking. Federal government to close Third Mainland Bridge for 5 weeks repair. India's investment in Nigeria above $27 billion from 200 companies, says Consul. Red flag on domestic borrowings as Tinubu considers 30 trillion naira fresh loans. NLC president arrested, brutalized in Imo, lands in hospital. Tinubu vows to sack non-performing ministers, seeks approval to borrow $7.86 billion, 100 million euros. Another senator bows to conscience, shuns ex-governor's monthly pension. Sanwo-Olu commissions Yaba bypass bridge on Thursday. 43% of Imo citizens may not participate in November 11 poll. Protesters storm National Assembly, insist on removal of defense minister over alleged wrongdoings. Rights groups threatens mass action over arrest of NLC president Ajero, decry political crisis in Rivers State. EFCC reviews arrest, bail procedures. Vice Chancellor calls for fees reduction in faith-based institutions, debunks owing salaries. Be ready to perform or you leave us, Tinubu urges ministers. Federal government targets over 10 million children for school feeding program. Lawyers lambast Ajaka for allegedly trying to compromise security agencies. Federal government cautioned to assess inmates before paying. Federal government cautioned to assess inmates before payment of fines. Federal government proposes roadmap to transit metals locally. Fubara says rift with Wike will be resolved. Tinubu urges Senate to confirm Abasi as FEMA MD. Chetima, U.S. envoy, meets over food security. Central Bank of Nigeria should partner Nexim, Afrexim, NCC on financial support for small IT operators. Tinubu receives letter of credence from 4 ambassadors, harps on investments. Senate seat. Former Benue Governor Suswan loses to Udende at appeal court. Nigeria loses over 16.25 trillion naira to oil theft. NEITI. I must succeed by all means. Tinubu declares at ministerial retreat. Jonathan tax African leaders on innovations for self-sufficiency in food production. Federal government to review visa policies, upgrade salaries of paramilitary officers. Adoye Temitope unveils CASI, an artificial intelligence power solution to tackle Nigeria's carbon footprint. Court of Appeal affirms the Fione's electoral victory, dismisses tribunal verdict. Police arrest youth leader, 122 others over attack on Rivers Assembly Speaker's residence. Bayelsa, Kogi, Imo, Guba polls, litmus test for you, SDP tells Tinubu. Bayelsa, Kogi, Imo, Guba polls, litmus test for you, SDP tells Tinubu. Arrest warrant, court gives MFLA January 25th to appear over $53 million debt. Rivers Assembly, don't allow crisis escalate beyond control. Jack Rich warned political gladiators. DRPC, ALIGN, spotlights gender norms, bias in media. 46 laws to protect visually impaired. Obi plays executive criminal-mindedness. 6, parliamentary system. And that's the mush we can take from the Guardian newspaper this morning. And from the Guardian newspaper, we'll flip over to Leadership newspaper. Presidency targets 10 million pupils for food school feeding program. Presidency targets 10 million pupils for school feeding program. Third Mainland Bridge to be shut for 5 weeks. Israel-Hamas war. Over 400 foreigners. Others leave Gaza. Engineers Wali Senate for Tinubu's assent of road sector reform bills. Federal government budgets 33 billion naira for presidential yacht, vehicles, computers, others. Governor Eno, corporate bodies excited over editors' conference. Senate clears electoral office smuggled through back door. Senate clears electoral officers smuggled through back door. 10 mainland bridge, we're taking this. Still on the stories making the headlines on the leadership newspaper this morning. Oshun raid. EFCC bans sting operation at night. Perform or quit, Tinubu tells ministers. Appeals. PDP lawmakers decry conflicting verdicts in Plateau. Ajero battles to save right eye in Imo Hospital. Wike has no hand in state assembly crisis. Rivers elders. Chelsea bounce back, beat Blackburn to book spot in Carabao Cup quarterfinals. Ben White scores own goal as West Ham knocks Arsenal out of Carabao Cup. Kogi's first female senator, Natasha, gets certificate of return to be sworn in today. Israel-Hamas war. We've taken this. Kanu governor appoints female head of service. COVID-19. New York Supreme Court reinstates sacked unvaccinated employees. Obafemi Awolowo University raid. EFCC bans sting operations at night. NLC President Ajero brutalized by policemen rushed to hospital for treatment. Kogi, Guba, lawyers, activists berate Ajaka over alleged attempt to compromise security agents. We are ready for conduct of local government elections. Para government assures. Reps consider bill to stop perpetual occupation of public office in acting capacity. And still on the stories making the headlines on the leadership newspaper this morning. EFCC reviews arrest bail procedures. All eyes on Declan Rice as West Ham, Arsenal lock horns. Declare state of emergency on Idato consultancy roads. Reps tell federal government. Tinubu threatens ministers with sack over performance. Takes responsibility for Buhari's failures. CSO, civil society organizations, urged to support Tinubu's bid to rescue Nigeria. Nigerian political godfathers behave like Italian mafia. Cheu Sani. Michael Jackson named Forbes' highest paid dead celebrity of 2023. Tinubu vows to achieve success by all means necessary. CAF Awards 2023. Uchime battles Mares, Salah, Maine for top prize. Police arrest NLC President Ajeru over planned protest in Imo. NRC unveils e-ticketing for train users. NDIC to boost depositors' confidence in banks. Others. Rivers police deny attack on Fubara, says governor in wrong place at wrong time. Ex-NFF president, Phoenix, Fem, president, Phoenix, Fem drags Davido to court over alleged contract breach. Transparency and Governance Index, assessing Nigeria's public governance. Bala Muhammad, 2 trips, 1 vision. Abia sensitive to plight of persons with disabilities. Uti. Russia-Ukraine war. How Ukraine, Russia are treating prisoners of war. Hashtag NSAS, PSC to punish indicted policemen. NHRC. Cleric defied me in church office. Students tells court. FEM partners Loma on waste disposal. 1,700 Unity school teachers grown over unpaid 3 years' salaries. And that's the much we can take from the leadership newspaper this morning. And from the leadership newspaper, we'll flip over to Vanguard newspaper. Kogi SDP governorship candidates blackmailing security agencies, lawyers, activists. Foreign debt to top $51 billion as Tinubu seeks fresh $7.8 billion, 100 million euros loans. Wage award, 40% salary increase. Federal government dashes hope of workers can't pay ministries, departments, agencies. Editors confirm, assigns Governor Eno, corporate organizations, economy experts. Amotekun arrests 11 suspects offensive. Amotekun arrests 11 suspects offenses in Ondo. The congestion of custodial centers. More legal controversy looms over FBN Holdings rights issue. Tension in Ondo community as government attack farmers, destroy settlement. Tyranny of the mighty, traditional banks versus fintechs in Nigeria. Professor Ben Nwabeze, I lost a father figure and a friend. Ikechukwu Amechi. P&ID judgment. Nigeria owes victory to Britain's incorruptible. For more on that story, please get yourself a copy of Vanguard newspaper this morning. Supplementary budget. Federal government earmarks 17.7 billion naira for presidential hajj. Zamfara in a season of a post-election loss disorder. I have passion for championing youth affairs. Minister. Elections. Bubar attacks military on peaceful conduct. The Met cautions airline operators orders over impending dust haze, deterioration visibility. Fight against climate change calls for significant collaboration. Police arrest 134 suspected criminals in Castina. That's the much we can take from the Vanguard newspaper this morning. And from the Vanguard newspaper, we flip over to the Punch newspaper. Reps ask AGF to explain 100 billion naira COVID-19 funds spending. Election won't hold in 38 Imo polling units. INEC. Opposition slams a federal government's plan to renovate forfeited property with 3 billion naira. Senate okays Chira as Auditor General, confirms 7 INEC recs. Reps propose special police team to end racial killings. Tax-seeking insurgents kill 40 in Yobe attacks. Tax-seeking insurgents kill 40 in Yobe attacks. Opposition slams federal government's plan to renovate forfeited property with 3 billion naira. PDP demands a review of appeal court verdicts on Plateau polls. $53 million debt. Judge threatens to order Emefili's arrest. Motorists accuse naval ratings of extortion on Anambra roads. Motorists accuse naval ratings of extortion on Anambra road. He met once of dust haze. NGE gears up for Akwa Ibom conference, hails partners. Ogun to rehabilitate 100 roads. On the story is making the headlines on the Punch newspaper this morning. Abiodun promises to revive Ogun sports centers. Inside Enugu school, where students are packed like sardines. My wife died of surgery complications, not domestic violence. Husband accused of causing wife's death. Police bust Anambra brothel. Rescue 20 underage girls. Abia takes impact project to 292 wards. University of Nigeria wins Chevening science competition. Abia community false Otis claim of 70 uncovered corpses. Labour blames Uzodinma as police arrest Ajero, foil Imo protests. Benue to destroy 100 million naira expired drugs in abandoned hospital. Israel-Hamas war, ceasefire more important than AIDS, says envoy. Witness absence stores Mufa's 6 billion naira fraud trial. Perform or be sacked. Tinubu warns minister during retreat. Crude shortage delays. Dangote refinery. 5 others take off. Foundation empowers 2,000 special citizens in Imo. Lagos sets safety standards for gas retailers. Ministry lectures women on healthy nutrition. Adopt inquiry-based teaching. Lagos state government tells tutors. Reps probe 200 billion naira spent on postponed census. Court stops Fubara's removal. PDP governors consult Wike. Kanu gets acting head of service. That's the much we can take from the Punch newspaper this morning. And from the Punch newspaper, we'll flip over to the Sun newspaper. Carlo Mons Nwabeze court restrains House of Assembly from impeaching Fubara. Ugbo community wins as Supreme Court resolves protracted land issues with Abagana. Ngige Mons Nwabeze Uweshwe Akwa Ibom governor, economy experts, others excited over editors' conference. Reps to investigate 200 billion naira expenditure on postponed 2023 census. AFCFTA West Central Africa Port Leaders Summit will boost trade. Cocoa. African Continental Free Trade Area West Central African Port Leaders Summit will boost trade. Cocoa. Rivers crisis, Ijaw leaders, traditional rulers, groups sue for peace. Ari business will boom again in Cross River, says Commissioner Otu. Rivers crisis, I can't be intimidated. Wike tells PDP governors. Coup won't happen in Nigeria. Chief of Defense Staff assures. Ekiti Local Council Chair Ogungbemi restates commitment to providing dividends of democracy to his people. Poor scarcity hits Ibadan. Education. Lagos harp on importance of capacity building. Ministerial retreat 2023. World Bank commits over $11 billion in 3 years in Nigeria. Country Director. Benue South. Appeal Court affirms Senator Abba Moro as winner. Israel-Gaza conflict. Envoy laments selective application of international law. AFN quest to subdue atrocities of insurgents. Commendable. AFN quest to subdue atrocities of insurgents. Commendable. Food security. Chetima seeks U.S. support on mechanization, quality seeds, fertilization. Others. Israel. Palestinian war. Experts warn Nigerians against causing religious crisis. Rivers crisis. Fubara under fire as elders back Wike. Bayelsa group slam Silva over comments on TV program. 2.17 trillion naira 2023 supplementary budget. Bogus. Disturbing. Silak. Troops rescue 3 kidnapped victims in Benue. Federal government develops new education roadmap with focus on 13 areas. Impeachment saga. Court grants bail to 121 youths arrested by police in Rivers. Appeal court upholds Delta National Assembly members' election. Reps give Accountant General 72 hours ultimatum on 100 billion naira COVID-19 fund. Ajero released from police custody. Kaduna, no student in my consultancy will drop out of school because of fees. Chief Whip, KSHA, UTA, Executive Secretary, AC, calls for unity of proposed. UTA Executive Secretary, AC, calls for unity of purpose among African leaders. Nearly 40 killed in Yobe, Boko Haram attack. Historic confinement of New Oko, Ibabe, Obolo, Enugu State. Anyanwu calls for immediate release of NLC President Joe Ajero. And that's the much we can take from the Sun newspaper this morning. And still on the stories making the headlines on Nigerian newspapers this morning, from the Sun newspaper, we'll flip over to Daily Post newspaper. Why Delta is investing in agriculture. Deputy Governor, NLC, I was beaten. God must have taken time to create me. Ajero narrates ordeal in police custody. Three Delta senators victorious in appeal court. EFCC bans sting operations at night. Army begins exercise still water to flush kidnappers, robbers out of Ondo. Sultan of Sokoto's delegation visits Governor Bello over death of Ohinoyi. Wike, Umahi, INEC, others defend 177 trillion naira supplementary budget before reps. Bail condition. We will no longer demand professional certificates of shorties. EFCC. Yobe government confirms attack on Gaidem community. Kidnappers taking advantage of bad roads. Dave Umahi, AFCTA, Tinubu eager to harness opportunities in marine, blue economy. Oyetola, PDP governors hail Tinubu for appointing Wike FCT minister. That's the much we can take from the Daily Post newspaper this morning. And from the Daily Post newspaper, we'll flip over to the Nation newspaper. Dust over rec nominees, substitution in Senate. Dust over rec nominees, substitution in Senate. Federal government needs 18.6 trillion naira to fix roads in 4 years, says Umahi. Monarch's burial gets committee. Safety standard for retail gas operators. Gbajabiamila. Foundation wants mischief-makers, hails Tinubu. Kogi Central is no-go area for opposition. Re-elect Uzodinma. First Lady urges Imo women. Elections won't hold in 40 polling units, says INEC. Diri, Silva, camps clash over allegations of violence. Togri. Poor varsity funding, a universal problem, says Danjuma. That's the much we can take from the Nation newspaper this morning. And from the Nation newspaper, we flip over to this day newspaper. Court restrains Rivers Assembly from impeaching Fubara. NUPRC summons crude producers, says local refineries must get supply before export. NLC, TUC, police trade wars over alleged abduction, brutalization of Ajero in Imo. Gaza war. Envoy calls for immediate ceasefire, address of root cause of crisis. We must succeed by all means, Tinubu declares. Yet, 10. Sahara Group's GMD, Kola Additional, charts pathway to power sector recovery. You are still listening to newspaper headlines on Ebon FM. We will now go for a short break. When we come back, we'll continue on the stories making the headlines on this day newspaper. Please stay with us.
Officer Mankomatus is in Lagos, is Abuja, is Anambra, Tibequenugunia. Any hotel mother cannot be
one can introduce you to the Nigerian hotel chain, Residency Hotels. It touched down in Lagos. You got to find Lagos International Airport Road, or Ibiana Lekki Phase 1, or Chuafana Lekki Osapa London, Lagos. It was down on Abuja one residency on area 11, Garki, on Okwana Guzape, no Okwana Otako, Abuja. Ibano were only Chuafana Port was one Nigeria no Gidi, Anambra State. If we are at Enugu State, 7/8 North Street, Independence House. We enjoy the luxurious furnished rooms and suites. Restaurants are okay. They have two sides here and there, an outside door bar where you are entertained with drinks brewed in different parts of the world. You can also book and pay online at tiptopgo.com or www.myresidencyhotel.com.
One open hotel, Residency Hotel, all the way.
Family is the foundation of the society. Now, the never of 5 FM, wherever I can get Naya, go to Basale.
Umuaka, Makin Mata, Ite Bastalo is no, Soyal, classic lady. Papa, Mama, na Umuaka, Makin Mata, Ite Bastalo is no, Soyal, classic lady.
Classic lady.
Never at the 103.5
FM. No classic lady.
Never at the 103.5
FM. No girl be crazy no more. Canada Garden every Tuesday and Friday, 3 to 4 p.m.
Biko nwanne m bịakene ka m jụọ gị, kedu ebe m ga-enweta ezigbo MC maka mmemme a na-akwado?
Ikamajuaju kpọọ Shaka Shaka, the latest MC in town, ka occasion gị anwa bụrụ ịgba. Ị na-achọ ezigbo MC maọbụ DJ na agbamakwụkwọ go, agbamnkwụ go, child dedication go, imepe ụlọ, ọ bụzi ụmụ akwụkwọ na-eme graduation maọbụ end of the year party. Shaka Shaka bịa na mmemme ahụ. Ị mara na I love you bụ Selekunse. Kpọọ ya n'akara ekwentị ndị a:
09022670547 maọbụ WhatsApp 07030366888.
ụmụnne Shaka Shaka.
How best can we talk about the challenges we are having on our streets, our community, our society in general? Street report. If we do not address these challenges on Ebonadi FM, who will? As the happenings around us get as complicated as they can be.
Our government,
Street report is here to make sense of it all. Street report is causing social change across your streets. In your community, Street report is here with hardcore journalism to get to the roots of our problem. Why don't you join me, Martin SR number the force every Friday 4:30 p.m. on Ebonadi 103.5 FM as Street Reports unfolds
in your face.
On Emas near Ebonadi corner
24/7, 24/7.
You're welcome back to Newspaper Headlines on Ebona Day 103.5 FM. Remember that you can become by sending your reactions via SMS or WhatsApp messages on 080-96661035. You can as well join us on Facebook as we're live at Ebona Day 103.5 FM. Drop your comment on the comment section of the link of the live video right there, and then you become part of the conversation. You can equally stream us online via mixlr.com/gistfm. We are on to this day newspaper. NLC, TUC, police trade words over alleged abduction, brutalization of Ajero in Imo. NESI at 10. Sahara Group's GMD, Kola Additional, charts pathway to power sector recovery. House to approve money spent on postponed 2023 population housing census by MPC. Ubo. Activation of bilateral sales contracts with end users will cause a revolution in power sector. PMI boss loss of project managers' impact in business performance. Sky Mac redeems 3.2 billion naira series 10-12 CPs under 10 billion naira program. Wema Bank's PBT surges by 130% YOY to 21.76 billion naira. Kunga TV launches November 6. Offers free adverts. DMB Nigeria expands with credit to cash risk management solutions. Optiva Capital restates commitment to support Nigerians get access to global investment opportunities. Oyebanji, we have succeeded in changing focus of governance in Ekiti. As Sule moves to reclaim mandate as Nasarawa governor at Appeal Court. Senate probe of TAM and another jamboree. Takeaways from quick wins to revitalize nation's economy. Time is nigh for Tinubu to step up governance. Time is nigh for Tinubu to step up governance. For Tinubu, it's time for governance. It is auspicious for National Assembly members to use imported utility vehicles. Tinubu, we are set to change narrative surrounding Nigeria's economy. That's the much we can take from this day newspaper this morning. And from this day newspaper, we'll flip over to Nigerian Tribune. Expert calls for government's intervention over incessant flood in Ogun community. Poor university funding, a universal problem. T.Y. Danjuma. Onyinoyi, Yahaya Bello receives Sultan's delegation on condolence visit. Ohinoyi, Yahaya Bello receives Sultan's delegation on condolence visit. Labour group demands immediate unconditional release of NLC president. Onyilola, wife, Mon PDP women leader, LGE. Reps committee vows to advance Nigeria's technological status in global sphere. Allow us to live in Lubanta cattle market. Northern Committee begs Governor Oti. Reps meet ministers. Orders over 2.177 trillion naira supplementary budget. Benue government to destroy expired drugs over 100 against insurgents in Northeast. Strike. Conference of Speakers promises quick resolution to PA Grish appeals for calm. P-Man disowns late Mohbad on royalties dispute. And that's the much we can take from the Nigerian Tribune this morning. That will also mark the conclusion of all that we have for you on this particular edition of Newspaper Headlines. On Ebonade 103.5 FM, we'll now flip over to our WhatsApp portal to bring you reactions this morning. And on our WhatsApp portal this morning, we have this message. This one is coming from Jomag from Umpele Zinaka GRA, and he says, kudos to troops as they rescue. How can reps renovate old property for 3 billion naira? This is misplaced priorities. Motorists not accusing navals of extortion, but the actual fact is that you can confirm it at the Bridgehead Market and Okuzu Junction in Anambra State. My condolence goes to the family of 2 boys born yesterday at Sokoto Road on a market over Agbero extortion. Others who think they are more powerful than government should desist from crimes. Engineer Ebuka Joshua Dawson from 33. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We have a message coming in from Paul Imuizu from Onitsha, and he says he and his counterparts were dribbling Nigeria like Nigerians like a football, claiming that they would go on strike against what is transpiring in the country. This has happened several times, but in all, no avail. So he deserves what is passing through. They have shown Nigerians that the group is a bunch of toothless dogs. He continued and says, Envoy wants Nigeria not to cause a religious war. Yes, Nigeria should clear from anything concerning Israel-Palestinian war because the country has not stopped the different type of terrorists terrorizing the country. Talk more of trying to cause a religious war, which must metamorphose into Third World War. That what is Nigeria's own in these 2 countries? Nigeria should mind herself, or had I known, will come at last. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We have this message coming in from Engineer Ebuka Nwabuko from Amawa Obunike, and he says, why will Rivers State Senator impeach their governor? Okay, or the House of Reps. He says, for no just cause, all plans to that won't work. He should stand for his right mandate given to him by the people of Rivers State. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We have a message coming in from Ibudu. Comrade, mercy on poor masses is not funny. All these budgets for cars is not in any way development for any other person apart from their interest, or if necessary, they should budget for jet each. That would be better. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have a message coming in. This one is coming from Amechi Nene from Uru Weremkwele Ogidi. As for Tinubu, may God answer as he said. Yeah, he will succeed. May God help the poor masses. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have a message. This one is coming from Chinedu Oneka, pastor. He says, Ukpo community wins in the Supreme Court over land dispute between Ukpo and Abagana. Well, I would have said something, but since the Supreme Court has spoken, I will hold my peace. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We have a message. This one is coming from Waloto Patrick from Nteje, and it says the story of NLC chairman Joe Ajero being arrested and brutalized distances in the story. Yesterday, we were told that Joe Ajero was arrested and detained by the police. Today, we also heard that the police denied the story. So there is the need that the people are told the truth so as to avoid the misguided statements from the uniformed general, from the uninformed general public. And it says again, federal government should always remember there is no amount of threat from her security agencies such as responsibilities. I want to use this opportunity to ask the federal government to tell the general public the truth concerning all the repairs that are going on in the 10 mainland bridge in Lagos. Some time ago, not more than 1 month now, we were told that some maintenance work were concluded on the bridge and that the bridge has been opened for public use. Today, we are told again that the bridge will be closed again for 5 weeks for maintenance. So which one is the truth? Thanks. All this borrowing, sad news always heard in this APC regime. People cannot protest for, is bad. And he says attacking NLC president by policemen is not acceptable. Hope Uzodema is dancing his master drum. Why this Israel and Gaza war is still going on? We must succeed, said Tinubu. When is it when we perish? Oh, okay, when I will perish. I'm congratulating Tinubu on Supreme Court verdict. I have Buhari's approval. But today, Buhari is praising Tinubu, South, because you are good in working for. And he said, okay, thank you so much for joining this morning. Now we have a message. This one is coming from Valentine Edenef.